Hey everybody, I just want to say before this video starts, like with the first season I did, I may not know everyone's names like right off the bat, so if I do mispronounce someone's name, please do forgive me on that. Still newbie to the series. And also, if you haven't watched the first season review, go check that out. I might have said that, but I'm recording this a few days after. With all that being said, I hope you enjoy the video, and here we go. What up? It's your boy Sean here, and say, do you guys remember when I looked at Rurouni Kenshin Season 1? If you haven't, link in the description. Yeah. So today we're gonna go over Season 2, because I made a promise at the end of that video that I would come back for Season 2 when it was on Netflix, and it is, and I am excited to get into it. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Before we get started, for those of you who haven't seen Rurouni Kenshin Season 1, I'll give you a quick review. Rurouni Kenshin arrives in this town and helps a girl named Kamiya, whose dojo is being attacked. After he saves her dojo, he lets them stay there. And they find Yochet, it's Yaito, and Sanosuke. And they got a couple of adventures going on where they save some people, fight off some villains. Then at the end, Saito Hajime, who was like his main, who was like Kenshin's successor, arrives, kills a politician, and then he's off to Kyoto, and that's where it ends. So now let's get into it. Alright, the story begins with Kenshin on his way to Kyoto. Then he runs into a lady named Miss Makio. Makio. Not like the lady from Demon Slayer. Makio. Makeo. He finds her initially when she's a bandit. Then finds out she's still ninja from the Okinawa group. Basically the same group as Lord Shinomi. And I want to correct myself here. It was actually Shishio Makoto who did it. And Saito Hajime was the guy who was actually going with Kenshin. It's been a while since I've seen the series. I just wanted to reiterate that real quick. Anyway, from the first 7 episodes, here we go. So, Karu, Yaito, and Sanosuke are traveling to Kyoto to meet up with Kenshin. Yaito and Karu went on a boat. Sanosuke went in the forest. And because of the forest, Kenshin and Makio, back to them, travel their way through the forest. And they find a town where a little boy named Eiji lost his parents and brother to Sengaku, one of Shishio's subordinates. I hope I'm using that word right. Anyway, he ends up getting knocked out by Kenshin. Then Shinomori. No, not him. Shishido. No, that's the main guy. I haven't seen much of his name being called in the show, so it's a kid who's got no emotions other than pleasure. No murderous intent, no greed, no nothing besides that. After Sengaku's defeated, him and Kenshin get into a battle where both of their swords get... Well, one sword gets destroyed, the other sword gets, just chipped. Like a bad blade on forged in fire is how it basically turned out. So, while that's going on, Sanosuke, still in the woods, finds a Buddhist monk, a failed monk. It trains him to learn a move where he can obliterate rocks with his hand. Little to find out he's one of the 10 swords that Shishio wants. Shishio, yeah. Shishio wants the 10 swords gathered in Kyoto. Then they finally arrive in Kyoto, where Kenshin meets former Okinawa bar spies. I'll try to learn that name. And they were in a restaurant called Aoya. Meanwhile, there's a hot pot restaurant that Karu and Yaito are saying that's run by Tai's family. Miss Tai, the owner of the hot pot in Tokyo, in Kyoto. And Kenshin went to go visit his old masters to find out if he can get a blade, and he hasn't got one so far, but that could probably change in an episode or two. Alright, now let's get on to this. So we meet up with Cho, who's one of the 10 swords. The strongest of Makoto Shishio's group. He first plays with a kid whose father was the son of a swordsman that Kenshin got his sword from. He threatens the kid, takes his life while he tries to go to a holy temple to find the sword. So he doesn't find the sword. He finds Kenshin there, and they're getting ready to fight. In the midst of battle, I mentioned my episodes, I forget some people's names, but not Cho's name or Kenshin's name, but Lori's dad, we'll go with that, because the kid's name's Lori. Lori's dad goes and gets the Sakamoto. We find out it's a Sakamoto, throws it to Kenshin, catches it, unleashes it, and he strikes and knocks him unconscious for the police to find. Then we find out a story how his father, Lori's grandpa, we'll go with that, gave Kenshin a sword, a Sakamoto, his first one, because he breaks the other one in that fight with, say, Shinso. I finally got the name. Shinso. So he tells the story how he finds a family who was like, the guy was like a part of the private eye, and they take him in along with a bunch of cats. It's not relevant, but I just want to point that out. Takes them in, finds a group of bandits who want to kill the private eye. Meanwhile, Kenshin, with his Sakamoto, knocks them out. And that's one of the stories from, Kenshin's life that I really want to get into. There's another one I want to get into. Then we find Aoshi Shinomori, which, if you saw the first part, I was like, who is this guy's name? Is Aoshi Shinomori. Dang it, I finally got it right. So, he betrays the Okiwanban group and decides to join forces with Makoto Shinso so he can get revenge on Hidokiri Patosai, or Kenshin Himura. So while that's going on, Kenshin decides, I'm going to go meet up with my old master. Unbeknownst to him, Misao, Karu, and Yaiko were there. And Karu tries to say her words, but she fully doesn't. And yeah, she tries to say her words. I was left speechless, like that. He's there. Honestly, if I had a crush on someone that I care about, and I suddenly see them after not seeing them for a while, I would get shocked too. Karu, I know how you're feeling. Anyway, so while he's off training, that's where Aoshi and Okinara Oki Okina. Yeah. So basically, at the restaurant Aoyima, Makoto Shinshiro sends all Makoto Shinzo sends all of the men of this group that are like spies that could infiltrate the restaurant, try to find the leader. They find him and they get defeated by said leader, Okina. Well, he wasn't the leader, but you know what I mean. So he fights them, and Misao, who has always looked up to Lord Aoshi, sees that he's bleeding, and Megumi arrives and takes care of Okina. Meanwhile, Misao decides that she's going to be leader of the Okinawara group. She's like, I'm leader! You will address me as leader or sir? I love her spirit and her energy. It's funny. To me, at least. And then we come to figure out how Kenshin and Seijuro meet. They met because when Kenshin was a kid, everyone in his village got killed off by bandits. But his parents apparently died of cholera the year before that. So he makes a funeral. He plants everyone's graves, and Seijuro decides, I'm going to be he's going to be my apprentice. And Seijuro taught him the time he was 14 years old. Even younger. That's crazy. He's trying to teach him the final thing he hasn't learned. Of the Ryoshoken and all that? He's trying to teach him the Amakaratu Ryu no Hirameki technique. And when he gets his feelings for his friends that he cares about, with some pep talk from Seijuro Seijuro, we'll call him Seijuro, he ultimately masters the technique and slices his master. And that's literally where the episode ends, with his master falling to his knees. We don't see what happens to him yet. I hope to see that. I'm excited to start recording that part. Maybe after some sleep. I will get ready because the next part's the final part, and then after that I gotta record my thoughts. So let's go. Alright, it's been a few months since I recorded a part, but I am ready. So, found that Kenshin's working with the police. A tattered ship was secretly a vessel for Lord Shishiro. Makoto Shishiro. Kenshin gets trained on. So in this case, beats someone to the ground. So here's what happened. After Kenshin thought his master died, he tried to revive him. Turns out he was okay. He requested his help, but he denied. Kenshin requested his master's help. I want to reiterate. And both sides were preparing. Kyoto's having like 1,000 police officers, while the 10 swords, or 9 swords right now, are on their way to burn Kyoto. It's gonna be epic. And so that happens like, excuse me. Kenshin writes a letter to everyone at Aoya, and everyone in Aoya goes off and prepares to help save the city. And Sanosuke almost gets thrown off a cart on the riding on horseback. No, they're being pulled by horses, not pulled by horseback. That's basically all I got for this part right now. Next one, we're going to talk about the fire because the battle is about to begin, and I am all there for it. Oh my golly, I just finished. What a great way to end. So, we got the Kyoto Fire. And I watched the entire 3 parts. I gotta be honest, I thought it would be like more. I thought the whole city of Kyoto would go down, but it didn't. 10 swords, Anji and Katamari are my favorites. Kitamari, I think. Um, so they get to. So the fire starts, and they take the flames out. It doesn't. Flames don't begin, honestly, until the second part of. There we go. Second part of the 3 part. And while that's going on, Kenshin, Sanosuke, and Saito are on the Rengoku, and they explode it from the inside. With his 2 layers, with Sanosuke's 2 layers mastery punch he learned from Anji, they were able to explode the ship, and they went out to go fight in a duel in the aftermath. And that's where it ends. Like, I'm like, for the outro, I just gotta talk about this. When Sanosuke found out that the person he learned the 2 swords, the mastery punch from, Anji, was one of the members of the 10 swords, he was like, what? I was like, yeah, dude, we know we're well. But also, Miss Megumi treats all the victims. There's only like 41 casualties, and a bunch were injured. So that was pretty neat. And all the firefighters helping take out the fires. What else can I say? But yeah. And also, Karu tries again to kiss Kenshin, then Megumi buds in, and tries to steal thunder. And then Misao comes and tells that they're going to protect Aoya from the remaining 10 swords, who, I should note, three of the 9 swords, I'm going to say, are going to fight Kenshin, Saito, and Sanosuke. I think it's actually 2, because there was also that kid, Seijiro, I think. Yeah, and they were going to go attack Aoya, but Misao and everyone else in the Obi-Wan group are going to do their best to, not let anything bad happen. So I'm excited to see where that goes. I can't wait for season 3. Yeah. So, my final thoughts with this entire series. Or this season. Sorry. I love it. I love the animation. I love the action. The characters were great. More characters introduced that have great personality. Not saying that I don't like one of season 1, because some of them are still there. But I'm talking about you get to learn a bit more and grow a bit more. Like Sanosuke learning how to punch objects into dust. That was a very fun time. And my other favorite parts were when they were all traveling to Kyoto, and then he meets up with Misao. That was another great part of the season. I am a bit curious to see what's gonna happen. Like, I never read the manga or watched the original 90s anime, which I believe I said in the beginning of this video and my other one. So I don't really know what's going to happen. Hope we get a continuation of the end of the Kyoto Fire instead of the other one. I know it's called the Kyoto Fire because that's what the whole thing's been leading up to. And oh my golly, it was awesome! I think Misao is a great addition to the cast of Kenshin, Karu, Yaito, and Sanosuke. And Megumi, too. I mean, they're all great characters, what can I say? It was pretty fun to see them all fight off Makoto Shishimo's guards and all that. It's just a fun series regardless. I hope we get to find more. With all that being said, do not forget at all to like, comment, subscribe. I heard season 3 is season 3 is in production, so hopefully this year, maybe next year, I don't know. But with all that being said, like I said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I will 100% be seeing y'all later. Bye!